practice it. That's a good thing you haven't done it. Are you practicing a little bit? Yeah? Sweet. That's awesome. If you guys have any questions about this, alright, don't be afraid to ask. We're going to go through a little slideshow really quick, just talking through what we're going to do. While we go through the slideshow, guys, does everyone have a pencil?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh.
Okay. Yep.
Oh,
I will hand out these papers for you guys. These are going to be what you follow along with the slideshow, okay? So during the slideshow, just follow along with these notes. Plug in notes. Hey, bud. What you do? You guys got it.
Emily, the pencil will be yours. No, thank you.
There you go.
We have pencils. Take one.
And
Brayden! Brayden, just make sure they give it back.
hey, bud. Oh.
I heard you say something. Get ahead of your brother. You don't have to. He's going to keep close. You don't even have to. I don't have to silence.
All right. Does everybody have a writing utensil?
Yeah.
And everyone has a paper to write with?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, you guys good?
I can't keep it done.
Good. Like I said, this paper that we have right here, we're just going to follow along the slideshow. You'll be using this paper to help you the first couple of times that we practice. So make sure it has everything on here. Make sure you fill it out exactly the way it's on here because you want to know what you're doing when you get to the practice, okay? Question?
I don't have a paper.
Oh, sorry. You don't have one either?
No, he does.
Okay. Did you have the same? Were you just going to tell me that too? Okay. On the back side, guys, you don't need to do anything. So you guys should be on the side that says American Red Cross. All right. You see the blanks. There's steps 1 through 7. That's the side we should be on right now. The back side we'll use throughout the lesson as well. Learning CPR. CPR, or cardiopulmonary resuscitation, can help someone survive cardiac arrest. During today's lesson, I already talked about this a little bit, but you guys will develop the knowledge and skills necessary to recognize a cardiac emergency and correctly perform the steps of cardiopulmonary resuscitation in order to respond safely in a real-life emergency. On the back, this is where you guys will be doing a peer assessment. So also, you'll be able to evaluate a peer, so a partner you're going to be with, who's performing CPR, using the checklist to determine whether the correct steps and techniques are followed. Okay? So that's, you don't have to do that side yet. We're going to do that throughout the practice. Why learn CPR? All right? Cardiac arrest can happen anywhere. Does anyone remember Damar Hamlin? The Damar Hamlin incident? Right, where he...
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, you remember? Right, he's a professional football player for the Bills. He went into cardiac arrest during a Bills game, right? The training staff had to rush onto the field and recognize the symptoms that he was dealing with. Luckily, they gave him CPR and they saved his life. Right? It can happen anywhere, anytime. You would never think it would happen during an NFL football game, but it did. So that's why it's so important to learn it. Cardiac arrest is an electrical malfunction in the heart that causes an irregular heartbeat, called an arrhythmia, and it disrupts the flow of blood to the brain, lungs, and other organs. It's the leading cause of death. Your actions in the first minutes can double or triple a person's chance of survival. That's why it's so important to learn these steps so we can react quick, so that we can give everyone that's going through cardiac arrest a better chance to survive. What happens during cardiac arrest? Cardiac arrest occurs when the heart suddenly stops beating During cardiac arrest, every second without oxygen reduces survival. CPR keeps oxygen moving to the brain and the heart until help arrives. So we're doing the CPR until help comes to get the person the actual help they need. Right? We're just giving them time. We're giving them the oxygen to the brain and the heart. Now getting to our steps. Use CPR when a person collapses and is unresponsive. If the person is not breathing normally or gasping counts as well. Step 1. All right, this is where you guys make sure we're following along. Step 1. Check the scene for safety. You want to check the scene for safety and environmental hazards. You don't want to put yourself at risk. So if you see somebody on the ground, you want to assess that scene, make sure it's safe. All right? One way to do that, today we'll practice. You walk over, scene is safe, right? That's how we know that you're not putting yourself in danger too, because we don't know what happened to this person yet. We just see somebody on the ground, right? So we got to assess the scene first, make sure it's safe for us to help them. Step 2, we want to check for responsiveness. Does anyone know what it means to check for responsiveness? What might it mean to check for responsiveness? Yeah. See if they have a pulse. That's good. That's a good answer. Anyone else? Yeah? If they're breathing. We'll get to both of those. But check for responsiveness means we're going to tap them on the shoulders and see if they're awake at all. Right? See if they respond to what we're doing to them. If they respond to our taps, if they respond to us calling them, right? If they are not responsive, then we know we have a more serious issue on our hands. So, just going to demonstrate this really quickly right now so you guys can see. When I'm checking for responsiveness, right? I already got the scene is safe. Step 2, check for responsiveness using the tap shout method. I see this person unconscious here. Right? I walk over, don't know if they're unresponsive or not. I'm going to tap them on the shoulders. Are you okay? Are you okay? No response. Right? So now we move on to the next step. Step 3 is checking for breathing. As you can see, guys, you don't want to do this for longer than 10 seconds. Why do we not want to do it for longer than 10 seconds? Yeah, we want to save time, right? Checking for breathing. You want to look, listen, and feel. Those are the 3 things you want to do when you're checking for breathing. Look, is the chest rising and falling? Meaning, are the lungs getting air? Is there air leaving the lungs and coming into the lungs? Is the chest rising and falling? Listen, do you hear normal breathing sounds? Right? I'll show you how this looks. Feel, right here. Do you feel a pulse? Right? You put it right up here. Do you feel a pulse? So what this looks like, you're checking for breathing. Alright? Now, when a person is lying on their back, you need to tilt their head back, open up that airway, right? Past neutral. So neutral is if there's a line here through their body, right? You want to tilt it past that so their head is back. That opens up the airway so you can actually see or hear their breathing. You're going to look, right? Look, is the chest rising? You're going to listen to their breaths, and you're going to feel their pulse, right? Chest rising, listen, feel. All right? That is step 3. Step 4. All right? Nothing has happened. They're unresponsive. We feel no pulse, no breathing. Assign someone to call 911 and get an AED. Does anyone know what an AED is?
Oh.
Or has everyone ever seen one around at school? Yeah, we've seen it. You know what it is? Yeah. Yeah, it's an electric shock, exactly. Right? An AED is an automated external defibrillator. It's a portable electronic device that automatically diagnoses life-threatening cardiac arrhythmias, such as cardiac arrest, and is able to treat them through defibrillation. This application of electricity stops the arrhythmia and allows the heart to reestablish an effective rhythm. Right? So you see these guys a lot of times right in the hallways near gyms, right throughout the school. You'll see this thing. It says AED on the wall. If you've ever noticed that, that is what an AED is. But you want to assign someone to get an AED and call 911. What might be the problem with just saying somebody call 911, somebody go get an AED, instead of assigning a person to do that?
Because they all go at once, and then at the police station, they do overwhelmed.
It might be that all go at once. Did you have something?
More than one person would go and
More than one person would go.
And
Yeah.
then, when they're calling everyone, then their time would be taken up more than anyone else's.
Yeah, those are all good answers, guys. Those are all good answers. And I like that you said that, because a lot of times what happens is this thing called the bystander effect. Right? If there's a lot of people watching a situation go on, and somebody says to do something, we might think, you're gonna do it, or you're gonna do it, so then I wouldn't do it, right? If somebody's saying, somebody call 911, I would think somebody else would do it, so then I wouldn't do it, right? So then I would have to tell somebody, Ava, go call 911. Ava, go get an AED, right? That's what I would have to do, so that way we know who's actually going to get it, and then we can get those things here. You want to do that before you start compressions. You want to activate emergency help. If you are alone, obviously that's different. You can't call on anybody. Put your phone on speaker and follow the dispatcher's instructions. So you still want to call 911 and get them there as quickly as possible, right? And then again, like I said, if there are others, you call 911. You get an AED. All right? So that is step 4 after checking for breathing. Step 5, performing compressions and breaths. Now today, guys, we're not going to do the breaths, but I'll still tell you about it because it's really important, okay? Performing compressions. You want to aim for the center of the chest, right? So if this is my mannequin right here, the center of the chest, right? Because that's where the heart is on the left side of the chest, but it's right below the rib cage. So you want to go right for the center of that. Okay, you want to interlock your fingers. So one hand's out, one hand's over top. All right, you want to interlock and you want to straighten your elbows. Okay, now when you're doing compressions, it's pretty quick, right? It's got to be hard, quick movements. Okay, you need to get at least 2 inches of depth. So we got to go pretty far. So we need to go pretty hard down there. It needs to be 100 to 120 beats per minute. And then as I'm doing this, guys, I don't want to just keep going. I want to let that chest rise, right? I want it to get oxygen. All right, so I want to let it rise. All right, that is just how we do it. Now I'll tell you the hand placement. Okay, the heart's located to the rib cage, so you left to the center. Interlace your fingers, keeping your palms down. Okay, so one hand on top. Elbows straight out with your shoulders over top. You guys will be doing this on the ground, okay? I'm just showing this so everyone can see. But you're gonna be on your knees, shoulders over top of your hands, okay? That is the hand placement. Match the beat. We just said CPR works best at 100 to 120 beats per minute. So that's pretty quick, if you think about it, right? That's pretty quick. So quick that here are some songs that people kind of think of to help them when they're doing CPR. If you're a nurse or something, you might have to do this a lot, right? In EMS, you might have to do this a lot. So people actually do this and they have the songs in their head. That way they can stay on beat and know that they're getting the right compression. Another one, Bites the Dust, is 110 beats per minute. Levitating Dua Lipa is 103 beats per minute. Staying Alive is 104. Flowers, Miley Cyrus is 118. Stick Season by Noah Khan, 118, and Stay by Zed is 102. Now, who can tell me right off the top of their head, what is the range we want to get to again? Yeah. 100 to 120. So all of these fall in there. So if you want to think of one of these songs when we're doing it, that's a good way to stay on track. All right. Now we got a scenario check. So now is where you guys can answer. So raise your hand if you know the answer. All right. You enter the gymnasium. You see someone who appears unconscious on the floor. After you scan the scene and you see that it's safe, what do you do? We'll go right here.
A, check for response.
A, check for responsiveness. C, yes, you always want to check for responsiveness, right? And how do we do that? Yeah. Tap them on the shoulder. Are you okay? Are you okay? If they don't respond, we move on to the next step. What's next after we check for responsiveness? We'll go right here. You got your hand up. Close. That's a very important step, right? Very important. But the next one we check for breathing, right? So right after you check for responsiveness, you get right into, while you're already here, you want to save time, right? So you're checking for responsiveness. Now you check for breathing, you look, you listen, and you feel for that pulse. Okay, so that saves you time, so you're not moving, you're still on the signal. All right. When do you stop CPR? Right, that's a huge question that's got to be brought up, right? Because you want to do 120 beats per minute, but we didn't really say when you want to stop, right? So when the AED arrives or EMS arrives, so remember you told somebody to go get the AED, you told somebody to call 911. When they arrive, right, then you can stop doing compressions. Now the AED is still going to tell you steps, so you got to listen to that. But when the EMS gets there, they'll take over from there. If you become too tired and you're all by yourself, that's when you're going to stop. You don't want to injure yourself, right? Because a lot of times overworking can cause cardiac arrest. If the scene becomes unsafe, or if another trained responder is there, or if there's obvious signs of life. So if somebody starts breathing again, you don't want to keep doing compressions on somebody that's responsive, right? That wouldn't be very good. Great job. Now it's time to practice. Okay. One thing I did leave out. All right. Let's go back to it. Where did it say? There we go. Kind of the most important part right here. When we're doing compressions, guys, we want to do 30 chest compressions. Okay, 30 chest compressions. Down. 1, 2, 3, 4. When we get to 30, then we want to do 2 breaths. Okay, so what that's going to look like, you're doing your compressions. When you get to 30, we're obviously not doing our breaths, right? But I told you got to tilt the head back. All right, so you put one hand forehead, one hand on the chin. And then you, for just the sake of being in class, we would say breath 1, breath 2, then we would keep doing compressions. Okay, but you want to keep repeating that same ratio over and over again until somebody gets there, or the AED gets there. All right? Now it's time to practice. Okay? Here's going to be our scenario. You discover someone who's unconscious. Our manning technique. Upon doing your checks, so after you do all your checks, you determine this person is not breathing and has no pulse. Meaning we do what? Yeah, who said it? Did you say it? What did you say? Say it louder.
Wait, I heard CPR.
Yeah, that means we do CPR. Right? We want to do our checks first, but if they're not breathing and have no pulse, then we start our CPR. So that's what we're going to pretend we have today. Are there any questions so far? No questions. Okay. Before we get started, I'm just going to demonstrate really quickly how this is going to look with a partner. So can I have one person who thinks they got it? Thinks they got it. Let's go. I saw your hand fly up first. Okay. So we could all turn and just watch right here really quick. Let's make sure everybody can see. All right. I will be checking you, make sure you got everything. Guys, your cheat sheet that we have right here. I call this a cheat sheet because the first 2 times we do this, you can use it. Right? I'm not going to just throw you in there. Right? You can use it for sure. The 3rd time we do it, though, your partner is going to go through this checklist and see if you got everything. Okay, so you can definitely use your cheat sheet. I will be the person you tell to get the AED. Okay? So when you stop doing it is when I bring the AED back. All right? You think you got it? All right. Let's see it. Yep, she looks seen as safe, right? Make sure you say seen as safe. Checking for responsiveness. Remember, say, are you okay? Are you okay?
Are you okay?
There we go. She's looking, she's feeling, she's listening.
Get an AED.
Get an AD, alright, I'm on it. I'll go get an AD. There we go. Alright, keep going, right? How many do we gotta do? We gotta do 30, right? But we gotta go pretty quickly, 100 beats per minute, right? Beats per minute, so it's pretty quick. Alright. One thing I'm noticing, right, which is okay, you're doing a great job. One thing I'm noticing, your hand placement, right, it's really important, guys. Hand placement. We gotta, make sure you can see this, right? Your hand placement doesn't want to be so low, right? You want to do it just in the middle of the rib cage, just the lower half, but the middle of the body, right? So like right here. So if I'm doing this, right, I'm doing my compressions. I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. After I do 30, what do I have to do? 2 breaths. Alright? So I tilt the head back, 1 breath, 2 breaths. Then I keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Notice how I let the chest rise every time. I'm not going really quickly, right? And I'm not going really slow. Right? You want to get enough in there. So you want to make sure you're going fast and let the chest rise. Alright? If you notice another thing, where am I positioned? On the side. Right? I started to go in front of the mannequin, but what's wrong with that? Yeah. You guys yeah, is that what you were gonna say? Yeah, the legs are gonna be there, right? So you wanna be on the side. So go on the side of the mannequin. Remember guys, you're gonna be with a partner. You're gonna practice this twice with your sheet, each of you. Then the third time, one person's gonna go and one partner's gonna do the checklist. Alright? If they check for safety, just put a check mark for yes. If they don't, put a check mark for no. Alright? Sound good? You guys can go back to your desk. I will get you partnered up and send you to a mannequin. Alright? See. You two can use this one right here. Okay. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
16.
15 in there. We'll go, you guys go to this one. We'll go, you two can go to this one, right here. You two can go to that one right there. You guys can go to this one right here. You guys can go to this one right here. Alright, yep. And you can go to yep, just unzip the bag, get the mannequin out. Got it?
What do you do first?
Remember, you gotta count out loud. If you're the partner that's not going, bring the AED back after a couple rounds. Okay, don't just keep them going. Bring the AED back. Say, I have the AED. And then you can stop. Alright? Good job, that's okay. Then you go a little quicker, right? A little more pace. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8.
I already crossed that way off. You didn't. You have to say that.
A lot of force. It's gotta go really slow.
Go get the.
Good spot right there.
Okay, research. No, you have to. So you're first. Yeah. But
Yeah, make sure
remember, it's like this, like this. You have to do
Did you go yet?
Are you going to bring back?
And you're back with the AED? Is that what you said? Yep, good job interlocking those fingers. Just one thing, you gotta count out loud, okay? So that way you can remember where you're at. Gotta go a little lower than that, right? A little more pressure. Yep, so it's gotta go here, watch.
Back.
Yeah, lower.
And then one. I got mine. I know it.
All right, if you haven't gone yet, make sure you go now. Okay, we have about 1 more minute of practice. All right? You guys do the check. There we go. Hey, are we all done? Let's see it. You gotta do it in one go. You guys go already? Okay. We're gonna go in our checklist now.
So your turn.
Doing good, guys? Alright. Make sure you do that as you go, okay?
I'll ask. Wait, if we go, if you already went, we go again.
If you already did your checklist, you can wrap your mannequin back up in the bag and bring it over to me. Yeah, make sure we just go back to your seats, guys. I got a couple questions. So you're all good? You can get it back up. Just like all right. You gonna zip it?
You guys feel ready?
All right, you guys can zip them up and leave them where you're at. Go back to your desk. Or you can just leave it right there, guys. Which ones did we miss?
We did go.
This one was.
And now I know how to do it.
Good job, Ian. All right, guys, go back to your desks. I'll collect them afterwards, okay? I'll collect them after, yep. Guys, great job today. Okay? You guys can just leave those there. Good job. Good job. Again, we will work on this again in the future, right? This is not just going to be the only time you do this. But great job. Great first day with that. I know we didn't get as much practice time in as we wanted, but we're going to have more time to do this, okay, in the future. So, but great job, okay? Actually, let me ask you a question really quickly. One question. Does anyone know what CPR stands for? Tough question. Cardio. Pulse. You got it? Ready?
You said it at the beginning. Yeah.
See, someone got it. Let's go. Cardio.
Pulmonary.
Cardio, pulmonary, resuscitation. Right? Resuscitating the heart. Alright, guys. Guys, thank you so much. If you make sure we have everything, you can hand me your paper as you walk out the door today. Great job.
Everybody up the rest.